I looked over the Record Store Day 2026 list after it first came out, and nothing jumped out at me. I had no interest and no intention of going. Last night I even mentioned this to multiple friends, especially after seeing a Facebook post by Josie Records here in Dallas, noting that people were already starting to line up around 7 p.m. I mean, this is just insanity. What on that list could possibly be so essential to warrant a 12-hour overnight wait? But then the inevitable happened. After waking up this morning, I took another look. After zeroing in on about 7 or 8 releases, I whittled it down to 1. Dropping so many on my want list is precisely why Record Store Day drives me and so many collectors and music fans nuts. Hi, I'm Andy, host of Poetic Wax, a weekly music history series where I do my best to dig into the stories behind bands, albums, and songs in my record collection. Now, today I was going to take a much needed week off from making a video. This is something I haven't done in probably a few years, but we're going to dig into it anyway, and I ended up spending a lot more money than I planned. Here are a few items that I had my eye on, and it's a case study in why Record Store Day drives me crazy. So the first to fall away was Jurassic 5's 25th anniversary pressing of Quality Control. And this is a sweet record for sure, but it's not an album I need, and it's not my favorite by the group. Nothing about this edition seemed to really jump out at me, and past pressings are still available at decent prices. Now, the last one to fall off my list was The Cure's Acoustic Hits. Again, absolutely no obvious differentiation points from other available versions at acceptable prices. And sure enough, if you look at the Record Store Day one in store, they're asking for about 33 to 50% more for this exclusive pressing. Just not worth it in my opinion. But the one that stood out did so for a few reasons. I went because the Jesus and Mary Chain's first ever US pressing of Some Candy Talking EP, which came out after their acclaimed debut album, Psycho Candy. So let's go deeper into why I actually decided to go. So as I do on weekends, when I first woke up this morning, I opened up Instagram only to be greeted by a live performance of Never Fight a Man with a Perm. Now, aside from the title, which is awesome, just this week I was obsessing over their video for Dancer off their superb 2024 album Tank, and I've been meaning to dig deeper into their past work, which I admit I've largely ignored. Second, I'm not doing anything else today, and the clock, it showed 10 a.m., long after any lines had probably dissipated. So I went. I first stopped at Dead Wax Records in downtown Garland. They had a handful of boxes with releases organized by alphabetical dividers. When Jay opened up, I looked at the handful of items, there honestly weren't a few, and came away empty-handed. Now, I wasn't going to, but I decided to take the 12-minute trek south to Josie Records' Garland store, and I found it, along with a few other items. So we're going to kind of go through what I came up with in a little haul video today. What drew me to this pressing wasn't that it's the first US pressing. It's that this is the expanded version. Across the various pressings that do exist, only 2 1986 7-inch singles from the UK include the full 7-song track list, which means the entire B-side of this is acoustic. Now, before recording this video, I've never listened to these songs, and I haven't even opened it yet. But I'm quite excited to hear how they translate to the stripped-down wall of noise that you get from Psycho Candy on tracks like the title track for this and for that, as well as tracks like Cut Dead and You Trip Me Up. According to the Record Store Day website, this pressing is limited to 2,000 copies, and I was able to snag it for just $21, which I was kind of surprised about. It's on a limited black leather vinyl, whatever that is. So let's take a look and see, is limited black leather just standard wax? black wax, or is there actually something interesting about it? Black leather vinyl. Black leather vinyl is black vinyl. There's nothing uniquely leathery about it. This just cracks me up. Black leather vinyl. Okay, whatever. So, what about the other items I picked up? I grabbed one more Record Store Day release that I totally missed on the list, and I'm even more excited about that than I am of this Jesus and Mary Chain record. But first, let's dig into the other items I got. And there's just two, so it won't take too long. I hate to admit it, but Idol's 2024 album Tank was really my introduction to the band. Until then, I had put off listening to pretty much anything else from the Bristol-based post-punk outfit, and despite every intention to go deeper into their growing back catalog, I continued to put it off afterwards. And this is all despite Tank being a top 10 record for me in 2024. So today I set out to change that. While at Josie, I stumbled across a new copy of the LP Joy as an Act of Resistance, and I picked it up. Their in-your-face style of post-punk is incredibly catchy, and you don't have to look any further than Never Fight a Man with a Perm to get that. Now, I'm quite excited to explore this record further, especially since I know it hit a lot of best of lists back upon its release in 2018. All right, next up, ever since picking up Live at Ryman Auditorium by the Raconteurs after seeing it hit the Josie Records Garland Shop's Instagram page about a month or so ago, I had a handful of Third Man Records 7-inch singles in my Discogs cart from Josie. Most are Jack White or the White Stripes, and included in that batch is Love Interruption backed with Machine Gun Silhouette. This was the only one at the Garland Shop, meaning the rest are likely at the main Dallas store. Love Interruption is off Jack White's debut LP from 2012, Blunderbuss. It's now actually the only studio album of his that's not in my collection, but it is on my want list. The B-side, Machine Gun Silhouette, is exclusive to this single in studio form. Now, I'm a huge Jack White fan, so this was a no-brainer. All right, so what was I so excited to stumble upon? Live at Revolution Hall by Adrian Linker. Limited to 3,000 copies, according to the Record Store Day website, Live at Revolution Hall is a live compilation drawn from 3 days of performances featuring the Big Thief frontwoman, who originally shared this as a double cassette in 2025. This is the first time this is on vinyl. It's the only other physical pressing of it out there, or physical version. And inside there are 43 tracks across 3 LPs. This live compilation includes favorites from her studio releases. Personal favorites include Indiana off her A-sides and B-sides LP with Buck Meek. There's Zombie Girl and Anything off of her album Songs and Instrumentals. And there's Ruined and Vampire Empire off of her 2024 album Bright Future. Plus, she covers a few of her own band with solo renditions of Little Thing and Spud Infinity off of Dragon New Warm Mountain I Believe in You, which was Big Thief's 2022 LP. So I'm super, super excited to dig into this one. So I have to admit, I always tell myself I'm not going to go to Record Store Day. There's never anything that catches my eye on the list at first glance, and it's just not worth it. But I end up going anyway, and I always end up spending a bit more money than I planned to when I set foot in the store. And honestly, today's haul is exactly why I inevitably keep going. Sometimes I hate myself for doing it, but today is not one of those days. Now, next week, I'll get back to my more regularly scheduled content. I have a few, 2, 3, 4 more in the works I think you'll like, including one on this guy.